The pen hovered over the dotted line. Cameras flashed, lawyers smiled, and the world waited for one signature that would finalize the biggest corporate merger in the country's history. Billionaire CEO Nathan Cole, known for his ruthlessness and brilliance, was seconds away from sealing the deal that would make him even richer and end the company his late father had built from scratch. Then, from behind him, a quiet voice broke through the noise. "Don't sign that." It was barely a whisper. But Nathan froze. He turned his head. The voice came from a young waitress refilling glasses of sparkling water at the signing ceremony. Her name tag read Emily. She looked terrified, like she already regretted speaking up. But something in her eyes, an urgency, a quiet plea, made Nathan pause. Everyone stared. The lawyers exchanged confused glances. His business partner, Victor Hale, leaned forward with a forced grin. "Nathan, go ahead," he said smoothly. "Let's not waste time." But Nathan couldn't move. "What did you say?" he asked the waitress. Emily's hands trembled. I overheard something, sir. Please, don't sign that. It's not what you think." A few people chuckled nervously. Victor's face darkened. "Nathan," he said sharply, "this is ridiculous. She's just a waitress. Let's continue." But Nathan wasn't laughing. He'd built his empire by trusting his instincts, and right now, his gut screamed that this girl wasn't lying. He handed the pen to his lawyer. "Take 5, he said quietly, standing up. The room erupted into whispers. Cameras stopped clicking. Nathan walked over to Emily, who now looked like she wished she could disappear. "Tell me," he said softly, "what did you hear?" Emily hesitated. "I shouldn't even be talking to you. I'll lose my job for this. But I heard Mr. Hale on the phone earlier. He said something about transferring assets once you signed. Something about offshore accounts. I thought maybe I misunderstood, but..." Nathan's stomach dropped. He'd known Victor for 20 years. They'd built companies together, survived crises together. The idea that Victor could betray him seemed impossible. But something about Emily's trembling honesty cut through the denial like a knife. "Where did you hear this?" Nathan asked. "In the hallway outside," she whispered. "He didn't know I was there." Nathan looked into her eyes, searching for even a flicker of deceit. There was none. He excused himself, saying he needed a moment alone. Instead, he went straight to his private office, pulled up his secure system, and accessed the merger documents line by line. It didn't take long to find what she was talking about. Hidden in the dense legal language was a clause that would transfer controlling shares of his company into a holding subsidiary, one secretly owned by Victor Hale. Nathan's hand tightened into a fist. He walked back into the boardroom, every eye on him. Emily stood off to the side, looking pale and nervous. Nathan's voice was calm but cold. "Victor," he said, "why don't you explain this?" Victor laughed uneasily. "Explain what?" "The clause in Section 4090C, the one transferring control of the company to your offshore subsidiary." For the first time, Victor's smile faltered. "That's absurd." Nathan slammed the folder onto the table. "You were going to steal my father's company." A gasp rippled through the room. The lawyers looked stunned. Reporters whispered furiously. Victor stood, his face twisted in anger and panic. "You have no proof." "Oh, but I do," Nathan said, pulling out his phone. He pressed play. The room filled with Victor's voice, recorded from the hallway security footage. "Once he signs, we move everything offshore. He'll never see it coming." Silence. Victor's face turned white. Guards entered at Nathan's signal. "Get him out of my building," Nathan ordered. The room burst into chaos as Victor was escorted away. Reporters shouted questions. Cameras flashed again. But Nathan's gaze found Emily. She stood frozen, unsure whether to run or cry. He walked over to her. "You just saved everything my father built," he said quietly. "How can I ever thank you?" "I just did what anyone would do," she whispered. "You shouldn't thank me." "Most people wouldn't have said a word," he replied. "You risked your job and your safety for a stranger." Emily looked down. "My dad lost his company to people like him," she said softly. "Couldn't watch it happen again." Nathan was silent for a moment. Then he smiled faintly. "You're not going to lose your job." He turned to his head of HR. "I want you to offer Emily a position, one that suits her talents. I think she has a good instinct for truth. A month passed. Victor Hale was arrested for fraud and embezzlement. The merger collapsed, but Nathan rebuilt, stronger than before. He launched new initiatives, emphasizing ethics, transparency, and compassion over raw profit. Emily became part of his corporate ethics team, helping whistleblowers speak up safely. She quickly gained respect across the company, not just for her courage, but for her humility and kindness. One afternoon, Nathan called her into his office. "I've been thinking," he said. "That day, you changed everything, not just my company. You reminded me what integrity looks like." Emily smiled. "Sometimes doing the right thing is scary." Nathan nodded. "That's why it's rare. And that's why it matters." He handed her a letter, an offer for a senior position with her own team. Her eyes widened. "I don't know what to say." "Say yes," he said with a grin. Years later, Nathan's company became a symbol of ethical leadership in the business world. He often told the story of the waitress who saved the billionaire at university lectures and leadership conferences. Not as a tale of luck, but as a lesson in listening. Success, he'd say, isn't about how much you earn. It's about how well you listen to the truth, no matter where it comes from. And every time he said it, somewhere in the audience, Emily smiled quietly, knowing that one whisper of courage had changed everything. Moral: sometimes, the smallest voice carries the greatest truth. And when power listens to honesty, the world changes for the better.